Dear Heavenly Father, blessed be thy name. Shackle me to you, God, so that I cannot escape, and shackle those who feel the same as well. We come to you in prayer for Joel V. and his newborn being challenged. Grant his parents strength and a calm mind. Be glorified. Put your supernatural hand on that family. Let us not be surprised or have unbelief when these things come to pass. All for the glory of your name, your Son, and the Holy Spirit. Amen.
The world is getting crazier. People are acting more and more insane. The end of the world is tomorrow. Tomorrow. There's only one thing to do when the world is falling apart. Listen to Basil and Gonz as they discuss this week's news and events through the lens of Bible prophecy. You are listening to Canary Crime News Talk.
You're listening to Canary Cry News Talk. It is September 1st. We made it to September 2023, episode 622, Burn Back Basil. My name is Gonz. Basil is out. We'll get to that in just a second here. I'm the director of the Age of Deceit films, your favorite Asian provocateur for Christ, live to tape from California to bring you the best news, which is the gospel message of Jesus Christ, while reporting the egregious with a well-rounded, biblically grounded take on world events. And today's immersion phenomenon, obviously, is Basil back at the burn. And I, again, had not had any contact with him until, I believe it was earlier today. So that's about 4 days of zero contact, which, I was kind of thinking, the search squad, the Canary search squad, I was starting to think, okay, day 6, I'll start contacting some people and being like, okay, hadn't heard from him for almost a week, just kind of a heads up. And then I think by like day 10, if all my resources are tapped, I would have sent out the Canary search squad to look for Basil in Black Rock Desert. But alas, we had made contact. He was able to get near some Wi-Fi and send a message. He's connecting with Carl Tykrib today out there with the Camp of the Unknown God. And Audrey is there and her husband. I don't know if her husband's there. It says Audrey, but we've known them for years as well with part of this research. So far, so good, actually. Weather is totally tolerable. Raining now, actually. Hopefully it doesn't flood out here. Yeah, that's if it turns into quicksand, just everybody, the Burning Man just sinks, then our best buddy Basil might be either battling waves of sand trying to get out, or he'll be visiting heaven a little early. But have some seminars lined up that I'm going to try for some interviews. And then, yeah, he's just telling me some stuff. But there you go. He's got some stuff lined up. So I think over the weekend, he's going to probably grab a few interviews, and he might still be out on Monday. I had a 5-minute window, and I realized I should have asked him when he's going to be back, considering he never really told me when he's leaving or how long he's going to be gone or whatever, which, I assumed will be about a week. So there you go. That's the Basil update, which brings us to today's show. Let's actually start off with a disclaimer.
It's time for a disclaimer.
Now listen up, YouTube.
That's right. And just for all the content moderators and censorship managers out there, be they robots or humans, everything you hear on this show comes directly from the mainstream corporate news media. We do not claim to be experts on healthcare, geopolitics, military strategy, corporate law, or the moral and ethical implications of any of these topics, nor do we implicitly or explicitly support or subscribe to any sources or narratives containing misinformation, disinformation, or malinformation, as defined by the Department of Homeland Security. We're good boys. All right, YouTube, we're good boys.
And we'll do a quick rundown here.
Oh, look, here's Basil.
Let me bring you up to speed.
And of course, filling in for Basil, I'm Gonz. And I'll give you a little rundown of today's show. We're going to start off with Burning Man. This is according to the New York Post. Hollywood stars bankroll anti-capitalist eco-warriors who blockaded Burning Man. So we'll see what's going on there. And then a little space. There's been a lot of space news recently, and I know that triggers the flat earthers, but hey, look, they're talking about it out there. $1 quadrillion, the prize for conquering space. But also, forget the 9 planets. There's maybe an Earth-like world hiding within our solar system. And there's some biblical reference to that. And then bulls and cars. It'll all make sense later. We'll touch on a Flippy and 5G and fake news all wrapped up into one. And then a little bit of zapping your brain to improve your math skills. There's an article about that out there. And then at the end, we'll just touch briefly about the mask situation, the mask mandates. The New York Times, it took about 6 or 7 months to go back to the old ways of basically promoting masks again. And so there you go. That's going to be a show today. It's a little bit quicker, I suppose, but it's again going solo over here. I'm doing what I can and pressing all the buttons and making all the bells and whistles work. Sometimes is a little bit challenging, but alas, here we are. Let's start with the lead stories.
Coming to you live from
Burning Man.
Disaster. Burning Man. Disaster.
Ah, yes, the Burning Man disaster. This is coming from New York Post. Hollywood stars bankroll anti-capitalist eco-warriors who blockaded Burning Man. And it'll be interesting to find out if Basil ran into any of these people. These aren't your ordinary anti-capitalist climate crusaders. Extinction Rebellion. The radical environmentalists who tried to blockade traffic to the Burning Man Counterculture Festival Sunday only to be rammed aside by tribal police. Oh yeah, go tribal police. Are funded by some of the biggest names in Hollywood, along with an heir to the Getty fortune and outdoor retailer Patagonia. Oh man, this is really the clash of civilizations, really, economic civilizations. I didn't realize that I should have pulled up the eco-warrior or eco-terrorism jingle here.
Eco-soldiers and space warriors.
Man, it's just a lot of the predictive programming is just so strong here. Today I didn't intend to have a Burning Man article that has to do with the eco-warriors and then talk about space right after that. But hey, things work out that way sometimes. Okay, the group calls itself part of a, quote, decentralized, way to use that buzzword there, guys, decentralized international and politically nonpartisan movement demanding climate action. Kind of weird. It's like, we're for the truth. We're decentralized. We're not centralized. We tap into that Getty cash and the Patagonia cash, but hey, we're independent, guys. Come on. We're decentralized. We're nonpartisan. Under its banner, protesters have superglued themselves to the Speaker's chair in the British Parliament, blockaded busy roads, often by affixing to each other and the asphalt, and even attached themselves to the top of a plane. So dramatic. Allied groups in Europe have vandalized a Walmart heirs a super yacht. Okay, so these guys are they're sort of the protesting, almost like the controlled rebellion kind of thing. They're called Extinction Rebellion, but it's sort of it's like a Mockingbird style operation where you have these people that are, I guess, gullible enough to believe that they're on the side of like the grassroots movement and really for the people and all that kind of stuff. But then their demands are pretty much exactly what the politicians are asking for in like climate action and funding climate change, resources and all this kind of stuff. So, you can kind of tell it's a psyop if you're paying attention. So there you go. And I actually saw the footage. I don't have it here, but it was pretty funny. They had so it's like a big desert. There's a road with 2 lanes, one going each direction. And you have these people holding up signs and they're halting traffic. They're literally standing in the road. And this ranger comes in a white truck and just blasts through their little, setup there. And, nobody got hurt. He's not running over anybody. He's just destroying their signs and their big, their big banners and things like that. But it was pretty funny. It was a pretty hilarious clip to see. And thankfully, a lot of people were excited to actually get moving and get to Burning Man. And, they got some pictures here of all the shenanigans caused by Extinction Rebellion. I found this interesting here. In one of the photos they're in, I'll read it here. In the House of Commons in London, Extinction Rebellion activists broke into the chamber. Sound familiar? Breaking into, government buildings, then superglued themselves to the speaker's chair in a move reminiscent of the January 6th attack on the Senate chamber in Washington, D.C. Huh. I guess the memo is out on the operation, the model, so to speak, of how to create the kind of legislation and fear and everything you need as a politician, really, to enact certain policies or even legally go after people, which we've seen quite a bit with the January 6th phenomenon, obviously, with the former president being the main target there. So there's a photo of a guy sitting on top of a plane. I mean, these guys, they're really going for it, man. They're really going for it. So they made us a little scuff at Burning Man. I don't think their message was received well, which is interesting considering Burning Man's history of, I don't know, it sort of toes the line. It is that complex, nuanced thing where people that go to Burning Man, mostly you'd think as, hey, we're just there to have a good time or whatever, but really what's being built there is Worldview. It's sort of a predictive programming camp for Worldview. And so a lot of the people that participate are unknowingly sort of not just adhering to, but accepting certain cultural taboos that become normal, let's just say. So, yeah, I mean, traditionally you would expect Burning Man people to be sort of the eco-warrior types to begin with because, they're against basically, big corp, big oil, things like that. Of course, they're all sort of using generators and things to make the week happen, and there's no money. There's a lot of stuff going on with Burning Man. I'm sure we'll catch up with Basil on all that. But there you go. That's the basic story here from New York Post. And sure, yeah, all right. I guess this was enough. See, that's the thing that's really suspicious too. It's like, who told these guys to go out into the desert, to Black Rock Desert, and make a scene? There's one road. It's almost like you can hear the lizard person telling you, there's only one road into Black Rock, Black Rock Desert, only one road into Burning Man. Stand before it and deliver my message. And he hands them the banners and all that stuff. And then a video, of course, of tearing it down. But then you get the news coverage, at least from the New York Post. There was a few others. And also social media, viral clip of stuff going down. I don't know. It's just an interesting play. It seems to be very familiar and staged in a sense. Maybe not staged all the way to every minute detail. I think we use that term pretty loosely when it comes to conspiratorial thinking. It's like, oh, it's staged. It's like, yeah, okay, it's sure. Like it staged at certain levels, but you get people that are into it enough and they will genuinely carry out a message that is coming down from on high. So, all right. There it is. There's the Burning Man update, and I'll be praying. We should call upon the producers here now.
Producers, assemble!
The camp of the unknown God.
Welcome to the camp of the unknown God.
Yeah, these are Christians, a lot of them friends of mine, friends of ours, that go out to Burning Man each year, not just for research, but to actually preach the word, preach the truth. And man, if there's a place where people may be open to the actual message, the gospel message, the actual truth of Christ and the truth of who Jesus really is, it would probably be people that are seeking stuff in a place like Burning Man. Although, again, demographics might be a little different this year, which doesn't mean it's a bad thing. It might be a good thing. Okay, so let's continue on here. There's other stories to catch up on concerning space.
Space. Wanna go to space?
Sorry, flat earthers, I'm going to trigger you all. Yahoo Finance Mirroring Business Insider, the race to the moon is heating up as lunar resources could top $1 quadrillion in value. What does that account for inflation? Because that may be about $1 million in a few years. Just the bullet points here. India made history Wednesday. This is last week as the first nation to land a spacecraft on the moon's south pole. Days earlier, Russia's space agency said, quote, the race for the development of the natural resources of the moon has begun, end quote. Estimates of the value of the moon's commodities range widely, with some topping $1 quadrillion. To the moon is no longer a rallying call just for the crypto crowds. Interesting to bring up crypto there. As a global race to explore the celestial body heats up. Now, this is a trend I just want to point out because I've been in the realm of crypto, just sort of being an investor of crypto for a few years. The crypto industry is going to be the economic engine to facilitate artificial intelligence and what seems to be, and I've talked about decentralized science before, but truly a new frontier of science, or what will seem like a new frontier of science, where it's not so ivory tower. It's more your boots on the ground. People, still rich people, still billionaires and millionaires and stuff doing things, but more so supporting these celebrity leaders, influencer types, or maybe CEOs of big companies that are personalities, things of that nature, to do explorations or do some kind of scientific experiment or fund some kind of crazy experiment that pushes the edges of known physics and science and all that kind of stuff. So this, I think, will continue to happen. And I bring it up because Charles Hoskinson, who is the founder of a cryptocurrency project called Cardano, which I've talked about before, and full transparency, I have investments in Cardano that I bought several years ago, and I have it staked on the network. But Charles Hoskinson, who is the co-founder of Ethereum, which everybody knows Ethereum by this point, Bitcoin was created as the first digital asset. Ethereum was the second one that leveraged smart contracts on top of the blockchain network. And so you can facilitate all kinds of transactions based on that. And now the United States government is calling Ethereum basically a commodity, just as Bitcoin is. So that's a big deal. And you have PayPal, who just made their PyUSD, their PYUSD stable coin that they announced is built on Ethereum, or layer 2 Ethereum. But it's a big deal. It's literally going to replace the underbelly infrastructure of world finance. And so in that move, all of science itself, I think, is going to be affected in the way people fund research. And back to Charles Hoskinson, he went on that expedition with Avi Loeb, the Israeli scientist from Harvard, who's been saying that, there's alien parts from the Moa out in the ocean. And so they went and got the stuff. They're called spheroids. And Charles Hoskinson is about to publish a paper with Avi Loeb. I think it actually got published this week as a Harvard research paper on these spheroids that they found on the bottom of the ocean that they claim is from outside the solar system. So all I'm saying is the science, popular science, how it's funded and how data is verified, all this stuff is moving towards blockchain technology, distributed ledger technology. The underbelly of this infrastructure is changing for better and for worse, I think. It's truly a double-edged sword when it comes to this technology. But I didn't want to spend too much time on this thing because it's like, all right, okay, we're going to go to the moon, we're going to mine the moon, which, hey, maybe the moon is, it's quote-unquote moon, and really the resources that they're talking about is from Antarctica or from Africa or something. Probably Antarctica. That would make more sense. They're they're trying to hide a lot in Antarctica, so it would be interesting if the moon was actually Antarctica. But there we go. The second story concerning space here that I wanted to talk about is from dailymail.co.uk. And the headline here, forget Planet 9. Scientists say an Earth-like world could be hiding within our solar system. Okay. For years, astronomers have teased the concept of another world in our solar system, commonly referred to as Planet 9. Is that Pluto or is it? But there could be a whole other Earth-like planet waiting to be discovered much closer to home, Japanese astronomers now reveal. Oh, yeah. Good old Japanese astronomers. They think this new planet is hiding in the Kuiper belt. The donut-shaped ring of objects extends just beyond the orbit of Neptune. This so-called Kuiper Belt planet, KBP, is up to 500 astronomical units from the sun, 500 times the distance between Earth and the sun, and closer than Planet 9. KBP is up to 3 times as massive as Earth, the experts say, but temperatures are likely too cold to sustain life as we know it. The study was conducted by Patrick Sophia Likuauka of Kindai University in Osaka, Japan, and Takashi Ito of the National Astronomical Observatory of Japan in Tokyo. Quote, "We predict the existence of an Earth-like planet," they say in their paper published in the Astronomical Journal. "It is plausible that a primordial planetary body could survive in the distant Kuiper Belt as a KBP, as many such bodies existed in the early solar system. It's known that the Kuiper Belt contains millions of icy objects referred to as trans-Neptunian objects because they are beyond Neptune." Okay, yay. All right, fun. All right, so there's just more, heliocentrism there. But yes, the Kuiper Belt, traditionally, it's been theorized, I think, not just by mainstream science, but I think people that are on the fringes and looking at the secret space program. This is where I remember hearing some of this narrative, is that basically the asteroid belt or the Kuiper Belt, one or the other, it contains a former planet of some kind that was destroyed. And I believe the asteroid belt is the connection to Rahab. And actually, I didn't even prepare the scripture. I'm so bad that I forgot to pull it up. I will do it right now. Because I bring it up because it's one of those passages where you're not going to get this in church or anything like that. I'm not saying it's even correct, like a correct interpretation. It's more so the ideas that I've heard concerning, given this heliocentrism model and planets and, finding a potential planet in our solar system that we hadn't thought of. We just didn't see it before because of the Kuiper Belt. It's just, hey, there's a lot of stuff out there. So let's see, where is it? I'm trying to find it. Actually, I'll just pull up the page here where I have it going. And it's on Rahab. Let's see. Somebody in the chat, I should check chat. Somebody in the chat knows the passage, and I can just ask what it is. Let's see. Ooh, this is good radio. This is good podcasting. Just letting it sit silent and quiet. Man. All right, well. Was it in Psalm? I think it might have been Psalm. Yeah, I think it might be Psalm 89. Psalm 89 looks about right. Let me check Psalm 89 here. Let's see. "Thou hast broken Rahab in pieces as one that is slain. Thou hast scattered thine enemies with thy strong arm." I think that was one of them for sure. There was another one that talked about, man, I forgot that Rahab also is another character in the Bible, obviously, with the prostitute. And in the book of Hebrews, James, Joshua is mentioned, Psalm 87. Okay, well, this is the consequences of bad preparation and fast preparation on my end, just rushing the preparation I knew I was supposed to do it too. I was like, I got to do that. And I didn't do it. And so I apologize to all of you for suffering through this with me. Okay. I have it here. Isaiah 51:9. "Awake, awake, put on strength, O arm of the Lord. Awake as in the ancient days, in the generations of old. Art thou not it that hath cut Rahab and wounded the dragon?" So there it is. Isaiah 51:9. That was King James right there. So, yeah, again, some have theorized that perhaps these are planets that are being talked about, and perhaps Rahab was one of the planets that got destroyed, and the remains potentially being the Kuiper Belt, or maybe the what was the other one? the asteroid belt. That's what it is. The asteroid belt. So interesting that see, this is the thing that I find fascinating about space and planets and solar systems and all that kind of stuff. There's a sort of hubris within mainstream science where I'm not just talking about like scientists or people that or astronomers or physicists or something like that, but just in general, I'm being very broad here. There's a sort of arrogance of like, oh, we know, like we know we don't know. There's things we don't know out there in space and at the bottom of the ocean, but we know quite a bit, you know, like we know a lot, you know. And there's this hubris, and I feel like that challenging that hubris alone is going to be interesting to watch, because the pursuits, what I was ranting about earlier, about these people that are going to fund certain scientific research and projects and things, they're probably going to try to go for some pretty wild stuff, right? I mean, I can only imagine the things that were once held secret, black budget projects and stuff are now going to be crowdsourced in a sense, you know, just to make it public and make it like, hey, we have this technology, but we can't just like release it. We got to make it so the people make it, right? And the people feel like they contributed somehow or whatever. And so we need a person to lead the way and like a Pied Piper, make a ton of money, and then we can deploy. That's if any of the technology goes commercial or any of the results from the scientific research contributes to technology that goes public. But in any case, I'm ranting too much. Point being here, I just want to bring the news about all the space stuff because it's ever changing. You know, if we are to be true scientists, you know, to the core definition of the word, and I don't mean with a certificate or a degree or something like that. I'm saying just as a person that is trying to stick to the principles of science, then the unknown is bigger, right? So things like space and things that are going on out there, and it can change dramatically. And if they say, hell, there's actually a ninth planet out there, we see it, you know, it's a huge thing that we found it, we're going to send a satellite up there and we're going to start mining it or whatever they're going to do. I don't know. The world can change, and the view of our cosmos can change in the context of secularism and sort of the establishment scientific lens that most people operate on when it comes to the worldview, the understanding of our universe, our cosmos. So I don't know. Just thought I'd rant a little bit about that because I know it's still a hot button issue with people. You know, you can't talk about any of this without somebody being like, "Oh, man, it's all nonsense, man. It's the dome, bro. We're in the dome." You know, it's like, hey, man, maybe, totally, maybe. I'm not dismissing the possibility. I have not been there myself, so I really couldn't tell you. I know what the word says, but you know, the word also talks about dimensionalities. You know, the things that are 3-dimensional, 4-dimensional. And beyond, you know, Paul didn't know if he was in his body when he was in third heaven. It's like, what do you mean he didn't know if you were in your body? What are you talking about, Paul? Yeah, so there's like extra dimensional stuff going on. So when it comes to space, and it's like, well, why do we have to define everything as, flesh? You know, I think it's beyond that. Obviously, there's multiple layers to this, so and nuance and detail. But I want to finish off this top of the show here with. I don't even know what topic to really make. I was going to go with maybe like I was going to stretch it a little bit, but let me play the clip for you. For those of you just listening, you are missing out a little bit on the excitement here. However, I will describe as the best I can what I'm seeing here.
Police Division responded to a call of a man driving eastbound on 275 with a Watusi ball in his passenger seat.
The officers received a call reference a car driving into town that had a cow in it. They thought that it was going to be, like a calf, something smaller, something that actually fit.
Okay. So what we're looking at here, and I don't know how they got shots of this thing going down the road. It's almost like they were they preparing for this guy? Like what? How did they get this shot where you have Highway 549 or something, and there's I don't know, what is this? A Ford? It looks like a small Ford, just a regular Ford car, and the entire passenger side is like cut out or something. It's almost like a convertible on that side. There's no windshield. And there is a humongous bull with ginormous horns sitting in the passenger seat, cruising by. Is this like a normal thing? Does this happen all the time? Is this just because I live in isolated woke California that I see this and I go, what? Or is this just kind of like, hey, Nebraska on a Tuesday? You know, it's just like a normal occurrence. I don't know, but it just struck me as very strange. And I, you know, of course, my mind, I'm like, did we check his legs? Did the police officer check the legs of this bull? Are we sure it's not like some hybrid being that's like, look, I just turned into a bull. We got to get to Dr. Splice or whatever. I need to get fixed. It's like, well, how are you going to get there? It's like, well, just carve out the side of your car. I'll sit in your car. And then he hops in, and then the cops pull him over, and it's too late. He's a full blown cow by that point. All right, I just wanted to give a good laugh here because this is I don't know. There's just too much pain in the world. You know, there's so much hate and pain and deceit. Just every once in a while, I just want to see something ridiculous and laugh about it. So there you go. That's some of the show. Some of the show here. Let's see. It's Friday.
It's Friday. Keep playing with the Friday thing. You gonna learn today? Cause it's Friday. You ain't got no job, and you ain't got shit. Are you not entertained? It's Friday. It's Friday.
Speaking of funny, do you all remember Bill Gates on stage dancing from many, many years ago when Microsoft first launched? Man, that's some classic stuff. Who would have thought? Who would have thought that nerdy boy hopping around on stage would turn out to be the face of evil? Oh man, that's just it's kind of sad actually. But all right, well, again, Basil, he's at Burning Man. He's doing his thing. He's hooking up with Carl. He's hooking up with the Camp of the Unknown God, and we'll hear from him. I finally played some drums with the new worship band last week on the Sunday. I'm going to show some of this, not because I want to show my drumming, but because I was a tech at a church for many years. That's kind of how I got not just an education. I actually got an education because I would sit through services multiple times and multiple levels, high school services, main services, memorials, weddings, any kind of event going on. I was tech for all that stuff. So I got this huge education, which was a huge blessing at the same time as working. And part of my job was to mix bands and make sure that, you know, if there's a live stream that the music sounds good and all that kind of stuff. And just mixing something that is at least acceptable to people's ears. And so after the service last Sunday, went home and wanted to review the game tape, right? Go check out the live stream and be like, all right, how did it sound? How did everything come together? I'm going to play for you about 20 seconds of a song called Cornerstone. I'm sure everybody knows the song. It's, you know, one of those, I think it's either Bethel or Hillsong. I know. But yeah, it's one of these staple songs or whatever. And you'll see the band and you'll see me playing drums. You'll see me playing drums for those of you watching. For those of you listening, it's okay. Just try to hear the drums. Listen for the drum kit. Okay, I chose that part specifically because it was a little bit of it's probably as loud as we got during the Sunday service. And yeah, 0 drums. We have 7 microphones on the drum kit and not a single mic got through to the live stream mix. I think the only thing that was picking up the drums was our vocalist, our worship leader's microphone. So yeah, it was sad. And you know, it's not really that uncommon with this church because I have another clip here from several months ago. I was playing guitar this time. And so what you're going to hear is one of our worship guys here playing the cajon, girls singing, and then the piano in the background. I'm playing my guitar. I'm playing my Jazz Master. But if you can hear the Jazz Master, you have a tremendous ear. I should actually pick up, I don't have my guitar plugged in, but I should just pick it up and play for you what I was playing because it's completely out of the mix. And earlier from this spot here that I'm showing and playing for you, you can hear the fader. Like I was kind of like, oh, the guitars are kind of low. And then you can hear the fader, which is the volume knob basically on the mixing board, go down as my guitar just disappears into to silence. So, yeah, it's been that kind of thing. So this week, we're planning to make things right. So I had a couple conversations and glad to help out, pitch in with the tech knowledge and, just make things sound a little better. So there you go. That's a little personal update there. But let's just keep moving along here because, I want to keep things pretty tight today. Let's see. Oh, yeah. We operate on value for value.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Yeah, that's right. We operate value for value. Sorry, I'm reading some of the comments. Sound guy needs more practice. Yeah, it's okay. And what's funny is I had the conversation with the sound guy. He's a good guy. His name is Jake, and he was like, I don't want to talk about it too much, but the problem is the person that mixes for the room, like for the house, when you're in the worship center, the chapel, is the same person that's mixing for the live stream. So they put on headphones while they're in the room and they go like this and they try to mix for the live stream by squeezing the headphones. And when you have a live drum set, it's kind of hard to know what's happening as a dry feed compared to what's happening in the room. It's just a terrible setup. It's a terrible setup. So anyway, and he was telling me, I thought I didn't hear drums, but I told him next time, go with your instinct, just go with your ears, go with what you hear, because if you don't hear drums in the mix, it's probably not in the mix, and I get it. It's hard because I'm playing, 20 feet away, but anyway, all right. We operate on value for value, which means that we don't do advertisements. We don't accept any kind of sponsorships. We still get emails from people asking us to, do some kind of ad for them or some kind of pitch. And we're just not interested in doing that. So we went out on a limb and went with the value for value model, which was created by Adam Curry and John C. Dvorak of the No Agenda podcast. And again, we got permission to do the value for value thing, literally with the round table and everything else, just to honor that model. And so far we've been able to keep this thing going, and it's not because we're doing anything special other than just grinding away with the show and trying to publish as consistently as possible. And as you've noticed in the last few months, really, just a lot of obstacles, a lot of things happening in life, both health-wise and just life in general, family, everything else. It makes it hard to tell your spouse that, like, I'm going to go podcast now. It's just a weird sort of thing, even though it is work, it is ministry, it is all this stuff, but it is a blessing in many ways that I've talked about before, that we're even able to do this, and we can't do it without the people out there producing the show, helping us produce the show. So we're going to start off with executive producers.
Executive producers.
Those are producers who come in with over $100 or more per episode or for one episode, and we consider them executive producers, executive producers. Ooh, maybe we can do an executive director level at some point. That might be in the works. But yeah, executive producers come in with $100 or more, and let me do a quick refresh, but I do believe that we do not have any executive producers. Refreshing. Let me find out for sure, though. Yeah. No executive producers today, which is, that's okay. That things happen. But we shall thank other producers coming in with their treasure. And that's one thing. We accept any kind of producership, whether it be with your time, talent, or treasure. Obviously, money is one thing, and that keeps the show going in ways that would be impossible without. But also, the building the culture behind this community with your talent, with your art, with your music, with your ISOs, and sharing that. That's a great way to contribute to the show. As well as with your time when it comes to some admin work in the background. There's always stuff to do. I mean, realistically, we could be doing way more when it comes to that stuff. And I'm just being very honest. And I'm not talking bad about Basil or myself or anybody that's already doing stuff. It's just one of those things where it's tough to even know what to do sometimes. Like it's just not my wheelhouse. So it has to be something a producer comes in and does for us. And there's plenty of producers doing so much that's way beyond my head that we appreciate it very much. But for right now, we're going to thank the producers coming in with their treasure. And I don't know if I have this all correct because, again, Basil has a system with all this that continues to evolve and develop over time. And I have not been able to keep up with the last couple iterations of changes of the system, so to speak. There used to be just some text. Now it's a chart. Now it's charts with divided lines and all kinds of colors, and there's a whole thing going on. But I will do my best, and if I miss your producership in any way, shape, or form, let us know, and we'll make it right in a future episode. Okay, so we're going to kick it off here with... I believe it is Jacob B. Jacob B comes in with 1111. Says, I have with this producership attained the level of knighthood. Hey, there you go. Congratulations. And am eager to take my place at the round table. Would have been dope to level up on episode 666, but the value I get out of CCNT is undeniable. Who am I to deny applying value back in? All right, Jacob B., did you, I'm wondering if you sent another email with your night name and all that kind of stuff, because if you don't, we're happy to wait to episode 666 because we'll see what happens on that episode. Yeah, it really kind of has been, I have to be honest with the way, like leading up to episode 666, right? Because we see it coming. It's just all the challenges, all like and then Basil going to the hospital for a month and all this. I was kind of like, man, this is like, we're just going right into the flames, and we're ready to just plow through it, and just get over the episode 666, and then we can look forward to 777, 888. I mean, things get much better after that. So, the 666 episode coming up. We're going to need all of you to pitch in there. So thank you very much, Jacob B. Appreciate the producership there. Thank you very much. All right. We also got something from Guy L. Thank you, Guy. No note and a round number, which means we keep it anonymous. Thank you very much, Guy L. We also have Jack D coming in. Thank you, Jack D. Also, I didn't see a note from Jack D and a round number from him as well. Okay, next up we have Palmer C. Thank you, Palmer C. Here's a note coming in at 777. Tweet, hungry boys, from Evil Bunny to Gonzmergencies. I hope all goes well on Wednesday. Oh yeah, this is from back in Wednesday. And Wednesday went, and it is now Friday, and Friday is wenting right now. Okay, thank you very much, Palmer C. Next up, we have Sir LX Protocol V2, Knight of the Berean Protocol. Thank you very much, Sir Alex Protocol V2. Here's a note. It says, here is the producership for Wednesday and Friday. I lost phone, power, and water during the hurricane. Prayers to all those who had hardships due to the storm. I recently received a blessing, so I wanted to offer some of it to your ministry. God bless Alex Protocol V2. Well, God bless you, Sir Alex Protocol V2, Knight of the Berean Protocol. Thank you very much for that. I believe, does that put him on a streak? Oh, he is on a streak. Okay, so So 208 episodes in a row. I believe that it's where he's at.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious.
Yeah, let me make note of that so Basil can keep that in the periphery there. All right, thank you very much, Sir Alex Protocol V2, Knight of the Berean Protocol. And I believe, if I'm not mistaken, oh, here we go. We got Malik W coming in as well. Thank you, Malik W. I see Malik coming in. Ooh, Trash Guy's here. I don't know if you guys can hear that. Fun doing podcasts in a garage on Trash Day. Let me see here. Okay. All right, moving on. People coming in under 777. They're your streakers. You got Veronica D coming in 301 episodes in a row. Thank you very much, Veronica D. We have Sir Scott, Knight of Truth, 327 episodes in a row. Thank you, Sir Scott. We have Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
Sir Casey, the Shield Knight.
The Streak King with 340 episodes in a row. I believe I have that right. Next up, we have Dame Gale, Canary Whisper, and Lady of X's and O's coming in 299 episodes in a row. And do I see Sir Morv? If Sir Morv is in, he is in at 272 episodes in a row. Thank you very much to all of the people coming in under 777, all who are streakers.
Oh yeah, Streakalicious.
Women rule.
Couple ladies in there. It's a whole streak gang. All right. Just real quick, wanted to mention the meetups.
Canary Cry Meetups.
Yeah, go to canarycrymeetups.com and come on. Yeah, go there, canarycrymeetups.com. I'm waiting for my browser to respond. And you'll see a list of meetups coming up pretty soon here. We have one tomorrow, actually, if you're in the Eastern North Carolina area, September 2nd, North Carolina Crystal Coast on Labor Day weekend. Contact Nancy. I believe there's did we put the email address in there? Rumble, YouTube, Garden Girl 2011, or Garden Girl 2011 on YouTube. Okay, so there you go. And I think there's a QR code on there too. If you just go to canarycrymeetups.com, you'll see it there. Go hang out. Go have fun. Go talk about all the craziness. And maybe, you guys can even pray for Basil. He's going to be in the thick of Burning Man, so that could be something cool to do. And there you go. That's coming up tomorrow. We also have next weekend, we have Reno, Nevada. Canary Cry Reno, the biggest little meetup in the world. Roller Kingdom in Reno. Come battle the Church of Skaten. Contact Sean and Courtney. Oh, I thought I updated that as well with the email address. Maybe I didn't save it or something. Oh, boy. Yeah, I'll fix that. I apologize. Some of this is my fault. And then also October 14th, Camden, Tennessee, Slave to Servant, Canary Cry Meetup. I think they're going to play Sam and the band there. And it'll be a great time. This will be awesome. So not just a meetup, but also some music, performing Escape Babylon. And I know Sam's been working on Slave to Servant for a long time. I played a little bit of guitar on some of the tracks in the past. It's always good. It's remarkable to me how good Sam is with his vocals, his lyrics, everything else. He just keeps plugging away, you know. It's just one of those things where he's just too good to not do it, so he just keeps doing it. And I think it'd be great if Canarians go and support him and the band. So there you go. That's all happening. Go to canarycrymeetups.com. I believe there is another meetup that somebody is pitching, but that's not going to be mentioned until the Speak Pipe section that we'll get to later in the show today. So let us carry on to the next story, which is about... What is it about? What is it about? Okay. Hold on one second. I got to find my spot. Oh, it's Flippy. Of course. It's Flippy.
Flippy update.
Do you want fries with that?
Wow, I need to fix my audio and stuff. Some of that audio is very loud in my ears. Flippies are a colloquial name for the disembodied robot arms that are taking our jobs, enslaving our children, and flirting with our spouses. We use talking about Flippy as a way to explore the new, fun, and exciting ways robots are taking over the world and how there's nothing we can do about it. Now, because Basil's not here, there's a lot of robot stories coming out every single day now, and I kind of wanted to save some of the good stuff for him. So I'm doing it's still kind of a Flippy, but it's a little adjacent. This is coming from TheVerge.com. And the headline here, no, they did not do surgery on a banana over 5G. You heard that right. They did not. A couple weeks ago, I asked Vergecast listeners to send me real-world examples of meaningful 5G experiences since the 5G hype industrial complex so intensely overpromised what the tech would deliver. Listen to that, The Verge, kind of leaning into the truther lingo there. My go-to example is the impressive network capacity at NFL stadiums, which has allowed thousands of people to simultaneously live stream the Eras Tour at every stop, but that's basically all I can think of. What I was not expecting was for so many people to send me versions of a video that show a banana getting stitches, snitches get stitches, in a robotic surgery device with the captions claiming that the surgery is being done remotely over 5G. This video has had an incredible journey. It has been reposted dozens of times across multiple platforms, all with the same basic claim. A surgeon in London did surgery over 5G on a banana in California. It is such a reliable driver of social video views that it just keeps coming back. Product Hunt just posted it this month. This post on X from Tech Burrito Uno is a great example. Okay, so they talk about Tech Burrito's post. They have the video here, which shows these robot arm tentacles, doing surgery on a banana, like peeling a banana, small pieces at a time. And the caption here is, a surgeon based in London performed a remote surgery on a banana located in California utilizing 5G technology, showcasing the incredible potential of this method. And the robot is also stitching a wire through the banana, or maybe it's like a needle and string type thing. Okay, so they talk about how it went viral, and the narrative with the video was that it was a doctor in London that was performing surgery on a banana in California through 5G. Okay, well, you know what's coming. None of these people ever verified that the claims in the video were true or that the video actually showed a robotic surgery on a banana being performed over 5G. I leave it as an exercise for you, the reader, to determine why no one asked basic questions about the claims in this video. Who was the doctor? What robotic surgery tool was used? Was there a press release about it? Which networks were involved? Instead of just posting it for clout. What I will offer you are some very simple answers. The video does not in any way show a robotic surgery being done over 5G. The video was first posted on TikTok during the pandemic by Dr. Kais, K-A-I-S, first name. Last name, Rona. Or maybe it's a two-part name, Kais Rona, because it's Dr. Kais Rona. But I think it's first name, last name, because later they referred to him as Dr. Rona. Really? Dr. Rona? A video from Dr. Rona of a robotic tentacle arm doing surgery of a banana goes viral on TikTok during the pandemic. And now The Verge has to come in and clean things up. I don't know. The whole thing is very suspicious. Dr. Kais Rona, who is a bariatric and robotic surgeon at Smart Dimensions Weight Loss in Southern California. And he's been actively telling people that it's not 5G ever since. And he talks about talking to Dr. Rona, emailing him. It's about that banana video again. And basically he's stated here, quote, I did surgery on this banana, but it wasn't over 5G, Dr. Rona told me. Quote, I saw someone post my video and say it's some surgeon in New York performing an operation on someone in London, and I was like, wait, what is this? He says. I commented, this is not true. This is my video. So see, this is where like the psyop itself can just, this poor doctor. I can picture I'll say elite, but it could just be people at TikTok, in the back room saying like, dude, there's a guy named Dr. Rona, and we're in this coronavirus pandemic, and he posted this video of him doing surgery on a banana. We should and remember at the time, one of the first topics that really hit the lockdown era, so to speak, was 5G. Everyone was like, oh, 5G, duh. It was like sort of the first conspiracy freak out, other than like the lockdown itself and all that stuff. But I feel like when that happened, it was only like the truthers that were like, yeah, this is not good. This is like what we've been talking about for like 10 years. And everybody else was like, oh, no, we don't know. And, within a few months, everyone was kind of like, okay, what's going on? And then it's been a couple of years, and now everybody's like, oh, this is all nonsense. We'll get to the mask thing later, bringing back the masks. But the timing of when this video came out is interesting, that it was during that time. It was during the 5G conversation and people trying to debunk the 5G claims of coronavirus or vaccines forthcoming. Very interesting. The timing of it is very interesting. And this guy just happened, his name happened, and I don't mean any disrespect to a doctor guy, okay? I'm sure he's a brilliant man, brilliant doctor. His name just happens to be Dr. Rona. And I'm sure somebody in TikTok, maybe in China, in the back rooms of TikTok they're looking at Dr. Rona robot banana video. They think the banana is racist, right? So they're like, oh, okay. Oh, he thinks he's being clever, huh? We'll show you. We'll disinfo you, disinfo your tush. So maybe that's what happened. And they made the video go viral with misinformation on it that says, oh, this was done with 5G, and poor Dr. Rona has to try to defend himself ever since. Quote, so yeah, it's false. The procedure was done in Los Angeles. The banana was in Los Angeles. End quote. Dr. Rona made the video during the pandemic when his clinic wasn't open to patients and he wanted to practice using his Da Vinci, is that 11 or G? I think it's 11, robotic surgery device. Quote, I was like, what can I do to maintain my skills? So I would take fruit to the operating room and practice on bananas and other fruit. I thought it's kind of interesting and people might like to see this, and so I posted it, and it went viral. As you'd expect, Dr. Rona has mixed feelings about the situation and how medical information spreads on social media after experiencing this video's journey. And it talks about misinformation, how it spreads like wildfire, and truly this is the the bastion of the narrative control, the double speak that is able to propagate because, there's active intelligence, operations to disinform, to distract, and usually to bring home some kind of hammer later on. They do the long play where they set something up, things spread, people talk about it on the internet. It becomes a topic of a trending topic on social media. Everyone's kind of blasted with it. And then, they go on to other things, but then later on they can bring it back up and, here's how it affects us and here's how we can curtail it with these laws and blah, blah, blah. So there you go. It says at the end, there you have it. They did a surgery on a grape. They did a surgery on a banana. They have done surgery over 5G in China. But my friends, no one's done 5G surgery on a banana. Okay. And, again, at the end, it's kind of like, okay, who cares? Like, why is this even brought up? And I feel like they're tiptoeing around the whole 5G conspiracy theory. They don't really get into it here. But in 5G being, ironically enough, 5th generation warfare, as well as 5th generation in terms of, wireless technology. So I have this Axios article just to round this section out here. May 30th, 2023 is when it came out. So it's a few months old. Coming to a hospital near you, 5G. And artificial intelligence may be grabbing headlines, but another technology revolution is finally starting to take place within the walls of hospitals, the switch to 5G. And I'm sure there are people listening right now who have experienced some of this technology already. And it's one of those things where, okay, it's just a little faster, but obviously the capabilities are increased when it comes to certain things. And at this point, when you're talking about the neurotechnology, there was a word, somebody sent a video the other day and it had a word that that I found interesting in the context of research and everything. Hold on, let me see if I can find it. It had to do with some kind of biology, but it was very specific. I'm not sure if I'm going to be able to find it right now, but it had to do with basically, frequency control of the human thought, human behavior to an extent from a distant, and that sort of technology already exists, in my opinion, that have existed for a while in crude forms like voice to skull, all the way to maybe much more invasive sort of mind control technology when it comes to neuro control and all that kind of stuff. So that actually brings me right into this next story here, which is, where are we? What am I doing? Oh yeah. Okay. Sorry. Gotta get my handle. All right, let's go.
Mind control research intensifies.
Mind control weapons.
All right, neurosciencenews.com. Zap your brain, boost your math skills. That's right. That's all you need to do. If you're not good at math, just zap your brain. Summary, researchers discovered that electrical noise stimulation to the frontal part of the brain can improve mathematical learning. The study focused on those who initially showed low levels of brain excitation towards math. Unlike in placebo groups, placebo, did an AI write this? What is it? Okay, neurosciencenews.com. What are you doing? What is going on? All right. Unlike in placebo groups, a significant improvement in math skills was observed after the application of neurostimulation. This novel approach could revolutionize personalized learning. Hey, you go at your own pace. You learn at your own pace. And let me just give you a little electricity, a little shocker to the brain to help you out. It's not, it's going to help you. It's going to really get the juices flowing. It's a little stagnant in certain parts of your brain. Key facts here. The study found that electrical noise stimulation enhanced mathematical abilities in individuals with initially... We already read this. What is going on with this thing? Source, University of Surrey. All right. Okay, so, all right. I have another article on this, and basically, let me just summarize it, because this article, I don't know what's going on. This must be an AI aggregator of some kind, because I think Daily Mail had it, and I think other places are starting to pick up on this story. But basically, they did some, they did a math test type of deal, and people who scored low, they gave the zap thing, and I guess it helped them focus. There were some percentages. I think it was like, oh boy, now I wish I had the article in front of me. But basically, yeah, there was a certain percentage, a 30-40% improvement or something like that when it comes to the speed and accuracy doing math problems. But the catch was, if you're already good at math and if you're already sort of tuned in with math, that part of your brain, I guess, is already working hard and already doing things. So the shocker doesn't do anything to you, allegedly. I mean, maybe it makes it worse. But people who don't have that part of your brain all tiggly wiggly, then little shocker, little zap, and hey, all of a sudden, math. So hey, everyone's going to be a math expert. I mean, might as well get everyone on board with the mathematical brain parts, because hey, we're going to merge with the machine. We're merging with the computer. And what is the computer? It's a math box. It's like a really, really fancy math box that does math equations really, really fast and processes information and all that kind of stuff. So it makes sense that they're like priming the mind to interface with the machine. So yeah, fun time, good times. It's truly. If it wasn't for the Bible, I think I was thinking about this the other day. If it wasn't for the scriptures, Revelation 13, that I've looked at for so many years and has fascinated me so much because of what's happening in society. I'm reading it, over the years, and I'm looking at society and I'm going, oh my gosh, like, do you guys not see this? And of course, there's more people that see it now. But if I didn't have that to sort of help me understand that, like, okay, take a deep breath. It's okay. Like, God has this. He's literally written it out, thousands of years ago. He laid it out, not even to the people that it was written to, but perhaps to us, and sort of the transcendent qualities of God being able to do that, writing prophecy that makes sense for them at the time, but then also makes sense for people like us today. If that wasn't there, I think I'd be pretty freaked out about where everything is going and how the culture, especially mainstream culture and society, where they are taking under the guise of art and expression and progressivism, development, and even bleeding into more politics with democracy and all this kind of freedom, sovereignty, all those issues. It's very fascinating to watch all of it unfold. And I would be pretty freaked out if I was looking at the same information that I look at on a daily basis when it comes to news articles and just breakthroughs in science and paper, blah, blah, all the stuff, all the developments. It would be hard for me to be like, okay, even in having the blinders on and saying like, oh, maybe there's a short period of time where we see progress or some, lifting of certain third world nations out of their poverty or whatever, like whatever sort of positive metric you can put onto society and feel good about it later, right? Whatever you can do with that, it's almost like, does it matter? Does it matter at all if there wasn't an understanding that this is part of how God designed everything to play out, and there's nothing for us to truly worry about if we are covered with his blood. So there's my little soapbox preaching for today. And let's finish things up today, of course, with our old foe, the Pandy.
It's Corona time.
COVID-19, COVID-19, COVID-19,
COVID-19.
COVID-19, COVID-19.
Coronavirus.
I am vaccine. Vaccine, number one way.
We've lived through the pandemic, but I think we're entering season 2, apparently, of the pandemic special.
A pandemic special.
We, of course, documented all of the strange sounds and visuals of politicians and mayors and leaders of all types, of all sorts of organizations and institutions, fumble themselves around and twist themselves into nonsense and discredibility. One of my favorites being de Blasio.
Vaccination.
Just a great moment. That one will go down in history as just one of the great sort of pandemic moments of just insanity. Clown show. Kevin Faulkner.
I am vaccine.
That one was good. Love that one. That one was sort of more local. That was the California debates, but good stuff. Anyway, it's back. It's coming back around.
It's an interesting question. We'll circle back.
It's circling back. What am I talking about? I'm talking about masks.
If you're working alone, wear a mask. The mask's not for you. It's to protect the people you care about.
Right? Of course. What a few months can do to New York Times, because I have the people are sharing the comparisons here, the side by side, and just went straight to the source here to do the verification myself here. But New York Times, back in February, an opinion piece by Brett Stevens. The mask mandates did nothing. Will any lessons be learned? 7 months later, New York Times. Is it time to wear a mask again? Experts recommend when and how to use them as COVID continues to circulate. Thought we were done with it. But of course we knew we weren't done with it. Who were you kidding? Did you really think that they weren't going to roll out? And did you really think that there weren't going to be people that were just, thank goodness we're back on the mask. Like, just boom. The people that were wearing it throughout this whole time, yeah, they're having their moment again. It's a cycle, folks. It's a circle. It's a circle of life. As new COVID variants gain traction, reinfections become more common and cases climb in certain areas. A few schools and businesses are reinstating mask requirements. Experts say it makes sense to increase precautions, including turning back to masks. And I will mention, and I don't have all the resources in front of me, but if you look it up on, there is a search bar on the Canary Cry News Talk website that I think is more useful than it's led to believe. I use it to find our own things on it, and it's right now the interface is not great on it. We got to fix sort of how that all looks and everything. But you can find when we covered the New England Journal of Medicine, NEJM, NEMJ, I forget which one it was, but it was the journal that published all these articles, these mainstream articles, scientific journals, and they had a paper about masks. I think it was April 2020, and they say in it that it is more of a symbol, a talisman is the exact words they used. Then and they say that, in addition to any kind of actual physical benefits that you might get or not get from the masks, really, it's about the psychological part of making people feel comfortable, that they're safe, that they're clean, that, it's just, it's written in black and white on the New England Journal of Medicine paper there that it's mostly symbolic. And so when people say, well, it makes sense, experts say it makes sense, you're basically saying, yes, put this symbol on your face and submit, and the worrisome thing here is that this is going to spark mutiny. Maybe not this time. Maybe it's next time. Who knows? But I think most people feel this, where the sentiment of the majority of the loud people now, the loudest voices, especially in the United States, they're anti all the stuff. It's just the pendulum is shifted. It's hip now to just be anti-establishment in going against this, because everybody can see the enemy now. It's hard to be anti-establishment when you can't see who the enemy truly is. And I think in the last few years, they've kind of had their come out party, right? They're just showing, hey, here we are, we're all the craziness. And those associated with them, I'm sure some of them would like to. You saw changes in a lot of people in Hollywood and actors and stuff. People change sort of their messaging, or they latch on to conservatism or whatever. There's been all kinds of movement. But, when it comes to masks, I truly think that it's, there's one thing to be said about, hey, if you're like sneezing over here and you had a mask on, and like, thank you for having it on, I guess, so I don't get like spittles all over me. I mean, that's about as far as it goes, I think the science is pretty clear that it doesn't do. There's too much nuance to it. You have to get like a perfectly sealed mask. There's so much to it that it's just it's pointless when you're talking about your common citizen just like putting something on your face to be socially accepted. So anyway, it's all coming back. Did we ever think that it was going away? And it says here, when should you wear a mask? Everyone's risk tolerance varies. Dr. William Schaffner, an infectious disease specialist at the Vanderbilt University School of Medicine, said, but particularly if you are 65 or older, have an underlying condition that makes you more vulnerable to severe disease, or are pregnant, he recommends wearing a mask whenever you are in a relatively confined, crowded indoor space. That could include stores, offices, and public transportation. Now, the other part of this, the other dystopic development when it comes to the rolling out of the masks is there's news out there. Maybe I can just find it real quick here. That basically there's some, AI drone surveillance. I think New York Post had the story about some drones that are going to surveil like New York parties over the weekend or something like that. Let me get the exact thing here. I'm not finding the story as quickly as I hoped. Okay, maybe. This is fun doing this, just on the fly. Oh, here we go. New York Times. Hey, New York Times. How about that? Let me get the archive version here so that we can all take a look-see. All right, New York Times, new chaperones for Labor Day revelry. New York Police Department drones flying overhead. The police department will send them up in Brooklyn to keep an eye on everything from major parades to backyard barbecues. So there you go. Sort of a open surveillance. Like, yes, we are the eye in the sky. The police, we are the police. Our drones watch you. We will be watching you. Like, come on. How dystopic can it be? And I mean, I think we've heard from people in New York that it's pretty wild over there. So it's not too surprising. It says here, I'm just going to the very end, some quotes from Mr. Khan, who is Mr. Khan? Albert Foxconn, a lawyer and the executive director of the Surveillance Technology Oversight Project, described Thursday's announcement as, quote, a lawsuit in the making. Yeah, well, that's true. Quote, camera systems sometimes can be helpful in investigating crimes, but they're really ineffective as a deterrent, Mr. Khan said. We continue to have police peddling the myth that their technology somehow will magically keep us safe, when in fact it's long-term structural investments in public safety that are proven to be effective. Yeah. You know, I've noticed also the trend that everything is going to the courts now. Like the American legal system is being challenged very, very heavily, especially as we go into, I think that's kind of the idea to break the U.S. heading into 2030. It's just my gut feeling. I'm not predicting anything here. Just my feeling based on Agenda 2030, what's happening in China, the geopolitics, the New World Order, all that stuff. It just feels like the way to really take down America. And right now it feels like things are moving conservative. We're restoring some things. I think Texas is launching like 774 new laws, and a lot of them have to do with, blocking trans stuff. And it's just much more conservative type of legislation. And that might work for some regions. And I think that's the other thing. Balkanization. Certain parts of the country are going to be hubs of conservatism and sort of upkeeping traditional Bill of Rights and constitutional rights and things like that. Other places are just going to be 1984 all over, like that, like New York here. In the Bronx. Was it the Bronx here? Labor Day. Well, New York. So, I think that's how the controllers would like to see America fall, is just breaking it apart from within. You know, it's kind of like I don't know why I thought of this, but if you have like a clump of dirt and you put it on a plate and you kind of have your weak points in the clump of dirt, and you kind of shake the plate, and then the chunks get further and further apart, you know, and then the dirt breaks apart more. I don't know why I thought of that, but that's kind of what I'm picturing the controllers trying to do to the U.S., where you have these different hubs, these cities that are sort of very liberal and progressive and all this stuff, and other places that are holding on to conservatism, and it just continues to clash to the point where it's no longer United States of America. It's just like the United States and just a region with a bunch of different stuff going on. And that is sort of the true decentralization that's taking place. The ironicness of creating decentralization or creating hive minds as a result, ironically, because the whole idea of decentralization is, hey, we're separating from the central authorities, which is why I think part of this whole thing is the teardown of central intelligence and all that stuff, showing all the corruption with the FBI, everything. Those institutions are probably going to change quite a bit, or change names, or, historically that's what they do when there's bad press and things get too bad. They just change the name of the group. So there could be something like that might happen, maybe in the 2030s, to sort of signal that we are no longer exactly or reminiscent of what we don't resemble what we used to be or whatever as a nation, which is already true when you're talking about me as a 4-decade-old man, seen the change, seen the infiltration of technology and internet and all that kind of stuff. So, all right. let's do some producerships here, coming in with their talent, and we'll thank some people coming in with some art and some music, and also for their time, and then we'll get out of here. And hopefully everyone enjoys their weekend. If Monday is Labor Day, I may not do a show, especially if Basil's out, which I think there was a pattern to where episode 666 would land on September 11th if we did it right, which is 3, 4, 5. Yeah, if we would have to go live on Monday to do it. I'm just being honest. I don't know if it's going to happen, especially if Basil's out. Just maybe spend some family time that day. So it will have to be maybe the 13th of September. We'll figure it out. We'll figure things out. We can always splice in some CCR to get by and make it all happen. So thank you everybody for sticking it out on another solo episode here. Value for value.
Value for value. We take no money from corporations, commies, or cartels.
Yes, and you can help build the culture behind the community with the contribution of your value in the form of talent. And today we're going to start off, we're going to jump in with Speak Pipe here to kick things off.
Please leave a message after the tone.
At the tone, please record your message.
Leave a message. Beep.
Message.
Go to canarycrynewstalk.com on any of the pages. Just go to this green tab right there, and it'll give you a little pop-up that allows you to record a audio message of up to 90 seconds, and that'll get to us, and we can play it. And you can address the community. If you want to send a private message, you can through this channel here. But just let us know that it's private right at the top, just in case we don't get to review it before we play it live. Okay, we got some backed up here that we'll catch up on, starting with Rochelle. Rochelle, I think this is like a week old. I'm so sorry, Rochelle. But actually it works out because I think she came in on a Friday. So it is Friday today. So let's see.
Happy Friday, Canarians. Yay. Today I just wanted to come in and sing the last couple verses of a song I wrote. But I also want to thank the producers and the streakers. Oh my gosh, you guys. You and some of your streaks. I can barely remember to brush my teeth in the morning. So, good for you. Okay. This is a song I wrote called You Have a Name. Wonderful Counselor, Son, Spirit, Father, the Shepherd of Israel. We sing to you, Emmanuel. El Shaddai will satisfy me. Jehovah will set me free. Jesus, the King of glory. Yeshua, the door and the key. The Alpha and the Omega. The Aleph and the Tav. Ruler of earth and heaven spinning. Declaring the end from the beginning.
Amen. Thank you very much, Rochelle. That was lovely, as always. And yeah, beautiful melody, beautiful song. Appreciate it. Thank you so much. Just a reminder also, you can leave a prayer, pre-show prayer, through the same Speak Pipe messenger box there. So, but let's move on. We have Lady Knight Little Wing.
Hey, Canarium, this here is Little Wing 1. You're on the boots reporter for Los Angeles area. Gons is on the east. I am on the west, about an hour out of Los Angeles proper. The psyop was very, very evident with the hurricane, quote unquote, which we never have. They started very early trying to scare everybody, sending out emergency alerts. we don't have hurricanes in Los Angeles. We have tropical storms. And that's basically what it was. But they were trying to scare people. And that was really evident from the moment that we started hearing these emergency alerts and calling it an event, quote unquote. So we knew right off what it was. It was basically a lot of wind and rain, but that's about it. That's normal for us. So I wanted to give you guys an update from my side. Gons is on the east, I'm on the west. So that's about it. And if you guys need any more info down here in Los Angeles, they usually hit us first. So they kind of test things out on us. We've been through pretty much everything. So us down here, we're pretty tough believers and trying to share the gospel of God in a very, very needy place. Anyway, blessings. I'll talk to you guys later and have an awesome day.
Thank you very much, Lady Night Little Wing, for the Boots on the Ground report.
This is our CCR special Boots on the Ground report. Now, let's go live.
Yeah, sorry, I did that backwards. But yeah, that was pretty much it. The media reporting of Hurricane Hillary, especially out here, sort of the atmosphere around, like when you go out and see people, they're all like, oh, this hurricane. It's kind of like, really, wow, that much of an effect based on all the messaging. And yeah, it was sure it was a little more tropical. There was a gust of wind that was pretty strong, but I don't know, it lasted 5 minutes at the most, maybe that's too long. Even it was maybe a minute or two with that, at least where I am. It got windy and then rainy, and then that was it. It's like, oh, okay. A lot of press for that. A lot of hype. So yeah, appreciate the Boots on the Ground report, especially out in LA. It's man, it's an interesting time. It's an interesting time with what's happening in LA. Thank you very much. All right, next up we have here Silly Goose Dave.
Hi guys, the Silly Goose Elder Dave here.
Oh, Elder Dave.
Imagine that. Yeah. This message is for Gonzoid and Bazoid in response to mugshot heard around the world. Ancient Chinese saying, better to have coffee mug with mugshot of your mug for identification of said mug than to have coffee mug with no mugshot and no identification in case you get mugged and mug get stolen. Thank you very much. Have a nice day. Gons, you didn't hear that.
The beauty of seeing the audio. You can see all the transients. So, Silly Goose Elder Dave, I saw that little extra piece there at the end, so I waited. Very funny. Thank you very much, Silly Goose Elder Dave. Next up, we have D Nice Winterbottom.
Hello, Canarians. This is D Nice Winterbottom. I am hosting a meetup at Landa Park in New Braunfels, Texas on September 23rd at noon. I would love to have a flyer for this. Any help is appreciated as it's less than a month away. Thank you.
D Nice Winterbottom. We need to get in contact with you and make this available as soon as possible, basically, because we're in September now. So, yeah, hopefully that gets things rolling. Certain people can hop in. We can get a flyer made and that whole deal. So, yeah, we'll get back to you. Thank you very much, D Nice Winterbottom. And last message here from Canary BB.
What's up, school? So the fifth generational warfare, where the private interests are superseding the government states for things. I think a Fight Club predicted that, back in the insomnia scene, Planet Starbucks, deep space, quote unquote. Have a pleasant evening.
Yeah, that actually, it reminded me, I went back and took a peek at the scene that he's referring to there. It's a pretty famous scene from Fight Club where, the Edward Norton character is kind of going off about how the corporations are what really runs everything, and you're going to have, galaxies named after, I forget what company it was, but they sort of mentioned names. But also, part of the PSYOP that later people have figured out and pointed out and stuff. There's a Starbucks cup in every scene of the entire movie. And that was sort of that was the PSYOP, really. The advertising mixed in with this cool messaging, Brad Pitt and the whole deal. a cultural phenomenon, but underneath it, without somebody noticing until much later. Maybe people noticed it at the time, but becoming understood or well known publicly that there was this underlying marketing campaign from Starbucks. And if you think about Starbucks too, how much they have influenced culture and how they have shaped ritual in America. And I mean that dead seriously, ritual in America. Coffee is a ritual. And I believe there was even a period of time where they, that was part of their marketing. It was like, yeah, come join us for your daily ritual, things of that nature. So, you can understand why society, or at least American society, is the way it is. And it's because of stuff like that. It worked. You have a whole generation that goes to Starbucks every day ritualistically. So that's sort of the mind control stuff there. And yeah, 5th generation warfare that Canary BB's talking about, 100%. That's a great example of how this whole thing operates. It's so hard because when it's happening, people that are attuned to it, a lot of times when things are happening, you're kind of like, something's up. Your spidey sense goes up. You're like, this is not right. Especially when you see everybody else saying or just following along with certain stuff. You're kind of like, at least I've always been that way. And maybe it's because of my upbringing and, a different cultural background. There's probably all sorts of personal stuff in there, but in terms of just in general, thinking sociologically and more philosophically and whatnot, looking at society and all that, I tend to be skeptical. I just stop for a moment when everyone's going in one direction. And not that I'm not guilty of that. Of course, I've done that throughout my life. It's just, I think we're sort of born and programmed in a certain way to do that. But of course, once you figure out what's truly the direction to go, you tend to figure out that, oh, okay, all this other stuff, it's the wide path. There is a narrow path. And it's very specific, but it's the truth and the truth that sets you free. So there you go. Okay, let's continue to move on here. Okay, now we do some thanking of the producers coming in with their talent. I'm going to kick it off with some audio.
Audio production.
All right. We have a couple coming in here. This first one is from Daphne. And the note here you go, gents. She's a 3.5-year-old producer. I think she wins the youngest producer award. The new record has been set here, folks. This is a monumental moment. Just FYI, I'll be signing up for the supply drop shortly, but I need to get off my phone. Took me way too long to figure out how to edit and export this file with my phone. No patience for PayPal. All right. Good stuff. Thank you very much for the note. God bless you both, you elected saints of God. Appreciate it there. Daphne and Daphne's parent, I'm assuming, mother, father, writing. But here is Daphne's jingle ISO here.
You've been demooched.
Fantastic. I mean, how can you not want to be demooched when Daphne is demooching you?
You've been demooched.
I think this is going to inspire a new generation of Canary Cry producers to come in, get demooched, have Daphne do the honors, and you'll be a new person. You'll be a completely new man or woman. Thank you very much, Daphne, and the whole family over there. Appreciate it. Next up, we have Jonathan F.
Jonathan F.
I actually think, let me double check here because I feel like Jonathan F. Came in a couple times, and okay, hold on. This is where some of the prep suffers. I believe this is from, yes. So one of them here is from Jonathan F., the Hawaii governor saying 666.
Within 6 hours, met our needs with the federal movement. 6 hours.
Okay, he repeated the number 6 3 times. If you're not seeing it now, friends, and I know you are, my smart, healthy, sophisticated Americans, 666 is the mark of the beast.
Yeah, it's always a little weird when stuff like that happens. It's like as if like the remote controlling either Chinese or aliens or whoever in the background, kind of just, oh, he said 6, repeat, and then 6, and then repeat again, and 6, just making him say it 3 times. So weird. All right. Thank you very much for that, Jonathan F. Here's another one. This is the Burning Man jingle. Hey, Basil.
For like 8 years. What?
I have an emergency issue that I need to address immediately, and I will be
And now
back.
we have emergency.
I will be back, and give me 5. You're on your own for 5.
Dr. Wokian, go, man, go. It's the core of the earth is going to explode. Why?
Okay, so this is Disaster Before Burning Man. This is our meltdown. Jonathan F. memorializing our our rock bottom moments in musical form. And I will play the entire 2.5 minutes at the end of the show for all of you, so you can all experience the pain that was a couple episodes ago. So we'll do that shortly. Thank you very much, Jonathan F. Okay, let's do some art here.
One art, please.
We have the Tennessee meetup. I needed to put this in the meetups page. Canary Cry Tennessee meetup at the Self-Reliance Festival, October 14th, 9 a.m. to 9 p.m. This is the Slave to Servant event, and it's a fantastic little promo page here with the derpy-eyed canary on the left. It's a brick wall in the background. It's got all the information there in the text. And the Basil googly-eyed canary is wearing a shirt that I think it says Love Against the Machine instead of Rage Against the Machine, with the Slave to Servant logo, as well as an acoustic guitar. He's holding an acoustic guitar with his right hand. Some stickers on board the acoustic guitar include the Canary Cry Think Outside the Cage bumper sticker with the canarycry.party link. Also the num CIA patch. And then there's one more that I am not able to figure out what that one is. You'll have to take a look at it yourself and know the reference. But there you go. Thank you very much to Sir Dove. I believe it's something, the note had to do with canarycry.art not working properly. And I haven't actually checked that out. We have been receiving a couple files, so it must be working to some extent. But we'll get back. We'll fix. There's things that are broken on top of all the chaos of the show. A lot of things that are broken that needs to be fixed. For example, the Canary Cry Radio website. The website itself is in shambles. It's all there. Like all the main stuff is there, but just everything else is, it's almost like I don't know. I'm not going to make the analogy. Let's move on. Let's carry on. I'm going to hold back some of my remarks here. But yeah, so there you go. That's Sir Dove. We don't have any more art for today. I'm going to save the microfiction for when Basil gets back. I just feel like that's a truly two partner type of thing. So there's that. We're going to thank some producers coming in with their time, just as important as talent. And we're going to start off by thanking the Clippies.
Clippy on those videos. Thanks.
Clippies channel, I think we're still trying to revamp it. That's another thing that's kind of broken right now that we need to fix. So see, I told you, there's so much that needs to be done in the back room there. We really could use some producers who want to jump in and help out with the time side of things, because that's really what it takes to fix some of this stuff. Even if it's not something you can jump in and do long term, even if it's like one project of like, okay, I'm going to jump in, I'm going to help you guys like get this Canary Cry Radio website down and right and all that stuff. Actually, there's been a lot developed in the background. We just haven't hit the go button, so to speak. And there's a couple reasons why, but things like that. So if you want to jump in and help out, please do. Appreciate the Clippies doing that, and that wouldn't be possible without the time stampers, who also have their own jingle.
Timestamp, it's hard work. Timestamp.
Jade Bouncerson has been holding down the fort when it comes to the timestamps. We had some people step down for a little bit for for important matters, much more important than this show in many ways. But yeah, if you want to jump in and help out with the timestamps, if you're watching live every episode and you feel like, hey, I can keep track, I can make a little mark on the time and give us the timestamps, that'd be fantastic. Appreciate it. And I think in YouTube, if somebody does it on YouTube in the comments section, I'm just going to pin that comment. So just a heads up, you don't have to do it, but if someone does put it in the comment section, I can pin that because I think everything gets hyperlinked if there's the proper way to timestamp stuff in there. So there you go. Thank you very much to all who have stepped in for that and all who are thinking about stepping in to do that. Also, thank you to Jam for the links. We had some more people send in articles, I believe. Gorgosaurus, I believe. Sally Jameson, Kira Contrite Spirit. Thank you very much. We'll review some of that stuff. There's a lot of interesting things being published right now, so we'll definitely cover some of that probably next Wednesday. And who else? Clank. Thank you very much, Clank, for all the clanky things that you do. The Clankanifius mastermind that's helping us with many different things. And that's it, folks. I don't have an end show rant. Basil's not here. That's why you come here for Basil. You don't come to listen to Gon's rant about some last minute made up convoluted way to tell people how to listen to the show. You just want to go hang out with your family and go hang out with your friends, love them, tell them about Jesus or talk about Jesus if they're already believers. And that's when you can drop the show, that's part of the conversation. But one way we encourage people to share the show is by what we call rattling cages.
The end of the world occurred pretty much as we had predicted.
I want to shake things up, stir up some controversy, rattle a few cages. Hey, stop that! You'll never silence me. I'm the last angry man, a crusader for the little guy. Leave the bird alone. Never. Rattle a few cages. Rattle a few cages.
The human race will have every opportunity to improve.
And if they don't?
Ask Noah.
Ask Noah. No one knows. No one knows. All right. My glasses are fogging up. I can't see. Need to get back to family. We're potty training the 2-year-old, so that's been fun. A lot of different theories out there on how to best do that. I went with a couple different methods. One of them was the nothing method. The don't wear anything and let the accident happen, and then sort of teach them that that's not okay, and let them feel the whole thing, and then help them understand that no, you got to go over here to the potty to do it. So that's what I'm going to get back to, and important things in life, and have a wonderful weekend, everybody. Again, we'll be back Wednesday. I will maybe send out an email or something on Monday just to keep in touch with everybody. But we will see you again. And until then, think outside the cage.
I love the Great Reset. Give me a break. This is the United States of America, for God's sake.
Remember, reality is an illusion. The universe is a hologram. Buy gold. Buy!
For like 8 years. What?
I have an emergency issue that I need to address immediately, and I will be
And now
back.
we have an emergency.
I will be back, and give me 5.
Go
You're on your
for
own
it
for
there,
5.
Dr. Lokian. Go, man, go. It's the core of the Earth is going to explode. Why do we even bother with anything? So there, okay, we can put that on the list. Some emergency Gons has to go take care of. Where was I? Cords destroyed. Oh, my headphones, my precious headphones that I've been using to do this podcast for like 8 years. Chomp, chomp, chomp. Chomped, 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 chomped. So chomped. Everything is busted. Oh, yeah, and on top of that, I was getting the Starlink ready to go to bring it out so I could do the show live. The plan was to do the show live from out there, folks, with the Starlink. Thanks, Elon. And I've spent about 2 days trying to get it going. I finally got a response back from Elon. Elon texts me. He's like, yeah, sorry, your unit is just malfunctioned. It's just bad. We sent you a bad, it's a bad unit. So we're going to send you a new unit. We understand that this is a priority for you, and it's very important. This is a priority for us as well. We got to get you this Starlink, Basil. You deserve it. The world needs to hear you. Stream from Burning Man. So we're going to send you a new Starlink, and it's going to take 8 days. So good luck. Have fun. So that's a whole disaster. So pretty much in the last 48 hours, the entire, I don't know, facade, whatever sort of facade of control that I seemed to have over anything at all in my life has been just entirely sort of deconstructed. A lot of which is just completely out of my control in every conceivable way. The one thing that I have some control over is this bunny that's running around my house like a crazy person.
Bye. I'm out of here. Bye. Canary cry, that's support.